How's it going, Spurs fans? I've been going over this tape for the Lakers loss, and there was simply too much to go over to fit it all into one video. So we're going to do one on offense, one on defense, and one on the fourth quarter. This one's on offense, and pretty much everybody struggled. It wasn't for lack of effort, but the Lakers defense deserves a lot of credit, and a couple of key guys for the Spurs need to step up in big moments. Let's go to the tape. This was such a big game that Snoop Dogg was in attendance. Here we see Spurs Coyote giving him a custom jersey. It's D-O-double-G for everyone who can't spell it. Also had Danny Green making his first return to the AT&T Center in a Lakers uniform. That was weird. Still a lot of love in this building for him. Bet Dejounte Murray gives good hugs. Here he gives one to LeBron James. They're tight, you know that. Same agent, Rich Paul. Danny goes over to say hi to Pop. LeBron goes over to say hi to Pop. It's a family affair. It's really nice. And then the game starts. DeMar versus LeBron was the marquee matchup of the night, and it didn't get off to a great start for the Spurs. Looks like he's going to get a layup there, DeMar, but you can see it's blocked and you can see he's upset. He's upset because the ball was coming off the backboard a split second before LeBron blocked it. Now, DeRozan has a legitimate gripe, but that's a really tough call for the official to make in real time, and he can't let that impact his mindset for the rest of the game. Here, he wants the foul call, he doesn't get it, he's upset, Pop's upset. Hey, you want to watch the game? Apparently the answer was no. Very next play, DeMar gets it, another aggressive move to the basket. Anthony Davis, clearly sliding over, draws a charge though. DeMar can't believe it. Everybody on the bench, including Tim Duncan, looking up at the board. Are you kidding me? Here's what they saw. And as you can see, Davis sliding his feet. Should have been an N1 to charge instead. This is not to say, oh, this is BS, the refs screwed the Spurs. But it speaks to DeMar's mindset early in this game. He was getting frustrated with the officiating, but he was also getting frustrated driving to the paint against this very long, very talented, very good Lakers defense. No weak spot with Avery Bradley, Danny Green, and LeBron at the three. Here, though, the Lakers have Quinn Cook in guarding Bryn Forbes. Bryn sets a pistol screen to switch LeBron off of DeMar, and he gets a good shot out of it for Derrick White, who just misses. But the Spurs didn't go to this effective action very much. Here, DeMar just catches LeBron with his head turned around, attacks, and by the time LeBron turns his head back around, he's getting past. It's an aggressive move. He's not afraid of the contact. Really like to see this kind of play from DeMar. Here, DeMar goes over the screen and LeBron drives the lane, but Dejounte meets him there. Oh my God. Coming the other way. DeMar, nobody picked him up. He goes right into JaVale McGee's shoulder and one. DeMar is definitely at his best when he's playing aggressive like this, but the Lakers made it really difficult for him to do that. They have a lot of long bodies they can throw at you. I mean, Avery Bradley, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Danny Green, LeBron James. Like, it's tough to find a weak spot in that Lakers lineup. And so we saw a lot of DeMar shooting these mid-range shots that, yes, he usually hits these. Yes, he's made a career hitting shots like this. But the Lakers did a very good job to contest these shots, make them difficult, and he wasn't knocking them down. Look at this possession, how much they're moving the ball and how little they're getting done against the Lakers defense. DeMar hits a tough shot, but a lot of these were just tough shots that the Lakers forced him to take. And plus, he didn't want to drive the lane every time and meet up with JaVale McGee or Anthony Davis or Dwight Howard. It wasn't all long twos. He got into the paint inside of 10 feet and shot jumpers. This one he drew a foul, but the other few that he took, he didn't really have very much success. It was tough sledding for him shooting the ball most of the night. If he takes an 18-footer, we'll call it settling, but if he gets a few feet closer for a much more contested shot and it doesn't go, how much more efficient is that? Speaking of efficiency, LaMarcus Aldridge was not very in this game. Again, pay attention to how difficult it is to get any good looks on this Lakers defense. That's a good shot for LaMarcus Aldridge to take. It's one of his better ones. Here, he's posting up JaVale McGee, gets doubled, gets fouled on this play. But Aldridge in the post hasn't been an effective option for the Spurs. This season, he's posting up the fourth most out of all players in the NBA, and he's only hitting 32% of his shots out of the post. He's turning the ball over 10% of the time when he posts up. It just hasn't been working for him this season. He hasn't been creating space the way he needs to. On this next sequence, we see a turnover just trying to get Aldridge the ball in the post. Here, good switch, should try to get him the ball here, but Patty can't get it over Anthony Davis, throws it to Trey Lyles. Lyles goes for the lob. LaMarcus wants to post up. Here he gets doubled in the post, throws it to Dejounte in the corner, gets it back, draws a foul. That's much more the type of play he should be making. Here, smart cut off the pick and roll, dives, gets an easy layup. That's what he should be doing. Not this. This is inexcusable. He catches the ball going toward the basket. It's a little high, but from here he should be going up to the basket. Instead, he pulls it out for a post-up, tries to bang with Anthony Davis, can't, tries to get a foul, and gets blocked instead. That's terrible. Here's another possession against this Lakers defense where the Spurs just can't get anything going. They're trying. They just can't get any penetration whatsoever. And by the time LaMarcus Aldridge gets this ball, there's only 5 seconds left on the shot clock. And he's left with a very predictable fadeaway jumper that Anthony Davis throws back in his face. I feel like he has a head-scratching turnover every game. There, he just switches pivot feet. Like, he's one of the most veteran big men in the game making a mistake like that. I don't really understand. He's much better when he's just getting catch-and-shoot looks at the elbow. He's actually shooting 50% on his elbow touches. And he makes this last shot here, but this is his last shot of the game with 5 minutes left in the third quarter. At the start of this game, the Spurs were playing really intense defense, and surprisingly enough, Bryn Forbes was a big part of that. Here in the first minute, he starts a transition break, secures that ball, throws a no-look pass to Dejounte Murray, gets it right back, drains a triple, and you got the feeling, oh, this might be his night from 3 if he's hitting that shot. It was really good to see him get going defensively early in this game, though. This is the next minute, and he forces another turnover, gets the ball out going in transition, and Dejounte Murray, that's a pretty pass to Trey Lyles, who finishes with the dunk. So creative, around LeBron, little baseball bounce pass. That's fun. Now, unfortunately for the Spurs, Bryn wasn't able to sustain his shooting for the game. Forbes shot just 1 of 8 from 3 in this game, and a lot of them were great looks for him. Here, pretty open shot, gets taken out by his legs. That should have been 3 free throws. Here, wide open in the corner, rims in and out. You know that's got to be frustrating. For a guy who's as knocked down a shooter as Bryn Forbes, he came into this game shooting over 40% from 3, and just in and out over and over again on good shots that he could hit in his sleep and hits all the time in games for the Spurs. This is a roster full of guys who don't really like to shoot the 3, so Bryn Forbes is really important for their production beyond the arc. He was pretty effective to start the second half inside the arc, there hitting a floater. Here he goes to work on Danny Green off the dribble, maybe a little push-off, step back. Ooh, that's tough. Still, Bryn's primary job in this offense is to hit 3s, and he just didn't do that in this game. Here he was able to draw a foul, got 3 free throws, but he, for whatever reason, just couldn't get his shot to go down. This is a perfect look for him out of a double screen, in and out again. Here, Danny Green does a fantastic job contesting this. Spurs would probably run that one for him a time or two, and still, Bryn in and out. I'm sure when Bryn watched this tape, he couldn't believe he missed all of these shots. The other 2 shooters on this team are Patty and Marco, and neither of them had a very good night. Marco knocked it down here, but he hasn't been consistent at all this year from deep. If he's shooting 3s confidently, that's fine, but this is terrible shot selection. This is barely a foot inside the line, and he bricks it short. That's just not the kind of shot you want really anyone to be taking. Here he practically plays defense on Derrick White to get a shot, pulls up for a deep 3, rims out. Here, fights hard to get open, lose Caruso, gets it, doesn't shoot that, dribbles in again, foot basically on the line, and another short miss. That's terrible shot selection. Patty Mills shot worse in this game. He was 1 of 6, had 3 turnovers, and just not effective. Here, maybe could have been a foul, but didn't get the call. Pull up, off the screen, no good. This one's a simple dribble handoff for Patty. Good shot, just didn't go down. Those are the kind of shots you want Patty to be taking. These are the kind of looks you don't want him to be taking. Late in the shot clock, catches a grenade, puts it on the floor, turns it over off his face. Not great. Here, coming around, running pick and roll, dribble, 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 dribble. Can't get it in at the rim. Patty is one of those guys who you want him to be dribbling as little as possible, attacking the rim as little as possible, and focusing on what he does best, which is shooting. Dejounte Murray is a guy who you have to love his physicality, his active hands, the way he fights on every possession, especially defensively. He's a super disruptive player, and that was on full display early on as the Lakers' offense really struggled to get into a flow. That aggression is clear on the other side of the court as well. He's very rarely going to settle for an outside jump shot. He's going to the rim more often than not, for better or worse. Here, he tried to truck stick LeBron, wound up losing it out of bounds after he got the rebound on an air ball. Here, bumped shoulders with JaVale McGee. It's a physical game, but he's not afraid of it. He wasn't too effective early in this game, and here in the pick and roll, he turns it over. It looks like he wants Pirtle to cut a little harder, but Pirtle stops. More on him later. Speaking of fearlessness, Derrick White was fantastic in this game, and he was at his best attacking the rim, especially in transition. He is tough to stop when he gets going toward the rim, especially without fouling. Here, he starts the transition break, gets his hand in, forces some sloppy ball handling, runs the floor at just the right speed, and then dunks it. You gotta hold on a little longer, young man. That was a scary fall there. Nice pass from DeMarre Carroll, who we'll talk about in a second. But Derrick White is one of the reasons that the Spurs are getting out in transition so much this year. Here, Anthony Davis with the chase down. But Derrick loves running, and he's not afraid to put his body on the line. Not many sane people would stand in front of LeBron James on a play like this. Derrick White doesn't care. Draws a charge. What a ridiculous effort play. That's a kid I would go to war with. How many guys have taken a charge from 2 separate number 1 picks in the same game? I'd wager there aren't many. This wasn't the last time he hit the deck in this game either. Derrick is also quite effective in the pick and roll here, pulling up from the free throw line. Way short, but it's a good play for him. Here they run the same thing. He behind the back dribbles, a little step back. That's tough over Anthony Davis. Here he's spacing the floor on the wing, catches it pretty open but wants to drive, not all the way into Anthony Davis, pulls up for a floater, little inside the elbow. That is a wonderful little shot, and that's going to make him very effective. He likes to be driving. He doesn't have to get all the way to the basket to get it in. Here White gets the rebound, starts going in transition, and right here he knows he has Caruso cooked with a crossover. Throws it across his body, little body contact, off the window and in. Here, he sees right when Anthony Davis turns his head. Makes a perfect decision to come in and rip this ball, and he's off to the races. Throws a pass to Rudy Gay, who has him for a layup, winds up going for a selfish contested layup, loses the ball to a jump ball. Here, White's wide open there for a layup, or a dunk. Let's talk about Rudy Gay, who had a nice night scoring the ball, but his decision-making left a lot to be desired. Here you understand him attacking Caruso, but there were just a lot of shots in this game that he took that were very well contested. The Lakers' defense deserves a lot of credit, but Rudy also has to have a little bit better shot selection, a little bit less dribbling, a little bit more cog in the machine than what we saw from him on this night. Here he gets trapped, finds a nice outlet pass to Patty Mills, who hits the floater. That was Patty's only make of the game. Rudy is a guy who hits tough shots, so you can't blame him for taking some of these. But the Lakers did a really good job of bothering him and making him take kind of low efficiency looks. He's a unique scorer and he makes some special plays here, extending his arm over Anthony Davis at the rim. That's very difficult to do for a wing player. Rudy made his fair share of tough shots in this game, but he probably made it a little tougher for himself than he needed to. Here's the last possession for the Spurs in the first quarter, and it looked a little confused. It looked like they weren't really sure what they were trying to do. Patty Mills comes up and sets this screen, and they switch, but there's not enough time left on the shot clock for Rudy to take advantage. So he's left with a long three-point attempt that he airballs. Here's what I'm talking about with making things harder than they need to be. He should just let that rip. Instead, He pump fakes, does a little jab step, and then shoots it when the guy's closer. Hits the shot, but he made it tougher for himself. The funny thing is that this season, when he has made the right decision, when he has shot the open catch and shoot look, it just hasn't gone down. Ever. I don't think he's hit a single open three-pointer this season. And there's just no reason for it. He shoots much better on these contested looks. It doesn't make any sense. Like, how are you bricking wide open from the corner but hitting that? I don't get it. It's bizarre. It's truly weird to watch. But, I mean, hey, I'll take a 35-footer at the buzzer. I'm down with that. Maybe he just needs to keep shooting these more ridiculous threes because, for whatever reason, he's better at them. I don't know. DeMarre Carroll came into the game in the first quarter, and he was pretty effective in his time on the floor. He only played 5 minutes in the whole game, but here he is in transition hitting his only shot. He's one of those role players who knows exactly where to be on both ends of the court at all times. Here we have another example of Rudy dribbling quite a bit. DeMarre makes a well-timed cut, catches it under the basket, gets doubled, kicks it back out to Rudy, who makes another really tough play. I mean, poor Caruso played great defense, but man, Rudy Gay is tough. The main reason I'd like to see Carroll in the game more is his defense. He should have played a little bit more, especially against LeBron. Having Rudy Gay and Carroll able to switch and defend LeBron, both of them, is really valuable, yet Pop only had Carroll on the floor with LeBron for less than a minute in this game. So basically, nobody played super efficient offense in this game. DeMar and LaMarcus specifically definitely need to work on getting more efficient looks in the flow of the offense, but it's tough to do against a Lakers team this versatile defensively. LaMarcus honestly could take a few lessons from, I can't believe I'm saying this, Dwight Howard, on playing off the ball a little more and generating more effective opportunities that way. He did a great job of that against the Warriors, not so good in the 2 losses against the Clippers and the Lakers. It's also just going to be tough to win games when all of your shooters fail to hit shots. Not a great recipe for success. The next video will focus on defense. It'll be up real soon. Until then, go Spurs go.